Hello and welcome to AARP's Back to Basic. I am Rico Burton and I am your host here today. AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. With a nationwide presence, AARP strengthens communities and advocates for what matters most to the more than 100 million Americans 50 plus and their families: health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. AARP also produces the nation's largest circulation publications, AARP the Magazine and AARP Bulletin. In November and December, AARP will help you navigate the complicated healthcare system. Caregivers are frequently frustrated by their healthcare system, from Medicare, insurance, and care coordination to inadequate healthcare staffing and medication management. We know helping your loved one navigate their medical needs is hard, and so AARP is your wise and fierce protector of that. And we're here to provide support and guidance. AARP can help you with resources, expert content, and tools. Just take a look at the URL that's coming across the screen. Hello there, Coach SheriAnne. How are you?
I'm good, Lady B. How are you?
Oh, I won't complain. Thanks so much for asking. We're happy to have you here. And today we're going to talk about stress management as it relates to the holidays. We welcome those of you who are here in the studio with us. And if you would have any comments, feel free to put them in on the screen. Let us know where you are from, and we will get to them as quickly as we can. Thanks so
Yes.
much. All right, let's get started.
Yes, the holiday season tends to bring a lot of stress and a lot of concern for, healthy eating, smart eating through the holidays. And so we're going to talk about some tips today about what to do when you're at a holiday event, how to manage that stress, because, we're embarking, Thanksgiving is next week, which I'm very excited about. It's probably my favorite holiday. But it begin about a 5 to 7 week window where there's a lot going on. And some of the stressors can bring about, like, can be job related, relationships, financial stress, financial issues, health problems, tends to be a little bit more clutter because we bring all these decorations out, busy schedules. And so these are stressors that can kind of either creep up on you, or you can see them coming and we have a tendency to react to them. And sometimes it's not a really healthy reaction that we can have. And so it's important to be mindful. And so one of the biggest things is to acknowledge that, like acknowledge that there are stressors. Because the goal here for me is not to help you eliminate all stress, because that's really not realistic, but to eliminate the unnecessary stress and manage the rest. And so that's really what it is, just leaning into it, acknowledging it, and then you can be light years ahead of most people. Because if we brace against that stress, we have a tendency to not sleep well, we eat poor, our hormones are out of whack, and we lash out at probably the closest, most dearest people to us, which isn't the best thing. I have been guilty of that. So I don't know if you have, Lady B, but there have been times where I've felt terrible after lashing out. And I'm like, I saw that coming and I could have prevented it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So just, pay attention to what matters most. That is one of the biggest things I can impress upon you, is just really kind of think about, what do you want out of this holiday season? What is most important to you? Is it, being with your family? For me, it is. We don't have a tendency to be massive consumers. We don't do big gift exchanges during the holidays. We just really focus on our time together. And that's been something that I've really impressed upon my children for a while. So we kind of get away. We go do something where it's just us, and I love it because it's focused on family and creating memories. So really, it's what is it that you want to get out of this? What do you want to pay attention to? What matters most to you? Because the holidays does bring a lot of family and friends together with a lot of food, and we're creating memories. So for you, Lady B, what is it? What do the holidays represent for you?
Well, like you, it represents family, For sure. And I always take a look at the reason for the season, and that helps to keep me sane too. And, because we run around, well, speak for myself, run around and I like to entertain. I like everything to look just so. And I spend a lot of time there, and then you're too tired, or I'm too tired sometimes to enjoy it the way that I really, really want to. So I've learned to back up a little bit from that. And I've also learned that and try to be mindful of other people expectations don't have to be mine. And so when people, when they come and they're, oh, I thought you were going to have your tree up by now, or oh, this or that, it's like, sweetheart, no, let's go to your house next time then, if that's the case, right?
Oh, expectations, letting go of expectations is so huge, and there's a saying, expectations are resentments waiting to happen, and so it's letting go of those and expect and really having no judgment, not only on yourself, but on others. But that really starts with ourselves. Not having any judgment on ourselves really helps us not have any judgment on other people. And having a level of acceptance across the board minimizes stress significantly so.
Well,
So
you've
one of
talked
the
before. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. No,
You
what was
you
it?
you talked before about setting realistic goals, and I think that that also applies to the holidays.
Yeah.
Set goals that are realistic, and that includes the time that you take and use to clean your home, to your decorations, to entertaining or having family and friends over, cooking, all of that. Set realistic expectations, and then you won't have your own personal disappointment that can put a damper on things.
Yep, absolutely. And one of the things too is really to manage, have some balance. Budget your time wisely because it's going to get sucked up into events and parties and feeling the need to get these things done. So budget your time wisely. And one of the things that I really want to encourage people is maintain your schedule of exercise. I've been doing this show for, 3 years now, and I keep talking, I've always talked about make sure you're getting your exercise in throughout the week and keep that up because your physical activity will help not only improve your sleep, but improve your ability to manage, expectations, and have a better mood, and your endorphins will be appropriately distributed. So it's maintain your exercise. So I mean, for stress management, that is the number one tip is just keep going, keep doing it, carve that time out, whether it's 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, that's fine, but get it in. Do not let it go. And you can be walking, hiking, if you want to go swimming, dancing, cycling, yoga, something, but be moving your body so that you release those endorphins, you can sleep well and manage your emotions. And
Does
if you,
does cleaning baseboards and windows count?
yeah, absolutely. That holiday cleaning, getting down on your knees and like having to do that, that's actually really good. Use the stairs when you can. Park farther away from the door. And sometimes you're forced to do it anyway because now our parking lots are full because everyone's embarking upon Arizona. All the snowbirds are coming here. Um, Bike to the store if you can, but cleaning your house, 100%, that is exercise. Yes, absolutely. Doing all out of this.
Mhm.
For sure. And that's if you can't get regular exercise in, find ways to get it in, and that's one of the definite ways to do it. And
So
so it's really important just to keep moving your body. Don't let things suck up your time to where you're not taking care of yourself. Don't put yourself on the back burner. Make sure you put yourself on that front burner and carve that time out for you. And that includes paying attention to your diet, and making sure that you're helping yourself deal with the chronic stress, getting in your antioxidants, which is eating the rainbow, which you've heard, if you've been on the show before, you've heard me talk about eating the rainbow, and getting in your vitamin C, especially now, because seasonal change, all of a sudden we'll get, these colds and flu and different things. And so making sure that you're taking in all of your nutrients to give your body a fighting chance. So do pay attention to your diet. And we'll dive into some tips on how to manage the holiday eating here in just a bit. But just keep everything as much the same as you possibly can. You don't need to create a lot of change. And if you are looking to make change, this is one thing that's really important. If you are looking to make change and you're feeling overwhelmed by it, just focus on one thing. Just, focus on if you're wanting to make a dietary change or if you're new to exercise and moving your body, just focus on one thing. You don't have to get the whole big picture together all at once, especially if you're trying to make positive change in a direction of changing your lifestyle to live healthier so you have some longevity, so you have some health span to your lifespan. Just doesn't have to be everything. If you're feeling overwhelmed by it, just focus on one thing, and that's amazing if you can
So,
focus on that one thing and master it, and then move on to the next thing that you'd like to master. Okay, so the third tip in stress management, this is one actually it's so huge and you've heard me talk about it before, but it's sleep. Do not deprive yourself of sleep because you got to stay up late to wrap presents or you got to prepare something for something else. Make sure that you are getting your sleep in. Sleep is so important for our brains to wash themselves and reset, create memories, for our body to restore itself. If you're not sleeping appropriately, and I say at minimum 7 hours a night, your body is not rejuvenating for the next day and you're in the hole. And so make sure you're getting that sleep. It is so, so very imperative to your health span and your lifespan. So carve that time out. Make sure, like, just be almost militant about the evening time. When it gets close to bedtime, be like, all right, I got to stop doing what I'm doing, start my bedtime routine so that you can get to good sleep and make sure you're hitting that REM sleep and not staying restless throughout the night. Be militant about it. It is so, so important to your health span and your lifespan. I can't
all right.
I can't impress that. Too many people are sleep deprived these days, and it shows. I mean, if you want to talk about people being stressed, ask them, like, how well did you sleep last night? Guarantee you it wasn't well. I mean,
Okay.
9 times out of 10. So get that sleep. And the next tip for stress management is making sure that you're knowing how to use your relaxation techniques. And once again, you can go back in the archives for the Back to Basics series, and I've even talked about relaxation techniques. But the most basic one is your breath, being very mindful and in tune with your ability to breathe. Breathe. If you're feeling stressed, I can guarantee you if you take 2 minutes and just focus on your inhalation through your nose and a slow, long exhalation and being mindful of that breath, feeling your body, feeling your entire lungs, you'll feel your blood pressure drop. You'll feel everything just relax. So breathing is awesome for relaxation. You can do mindfulness, meditation, yoga. You can do a slight stretch routine, but making sure that you can have relaxation techniques is imperative because you'll find yourself starting to shrug your shoulders, your back gets tight, neck gets tight. Those muscles are tight because you're just so tense, and you need to learn how to relax. And another great way to relax, it's one of my favorite ways, is to laugh. There's such thing as like laugh therapy. And you should try it if you've never done it, Lady B. But if you just sit there and guffaw, like laugh out loud, like, and it feels so silly, like fake laughing, pretty soon you're going to be organically laughing because it'll feel so awkward and weird that you just start laughing. But or find something that makes you laugh, whether it be a memory or a friend, and you can talk to them. But laughing is a wonderful way to relax. Have you ever
Laughter is Oh yeah, laughter is absolutely good medicine, and I've had to have the beginning of a laugh that was fake, if you will, that turned into something authentic, even on stage when I've done some plays, and you have to do it, and the next thing you know, you're really, really laughing. But it's emotional contagion, and
Mhm.
you'll find other people start to laugh, and they don't know why they're laughing; they just see you laughing and enjoying yourself too. So that's part of it. I want to go back just for a moment to something you said. You talked to us about making sure that we got our sleep. And then you mentioned the relaxation techniques because what came to my mind, and I'm glad you did, what came to my mind is sometimes the reason we can't sleep is because we're stressed. And so even trying to carve out the time for the sleep, if our bodies and our minds are not in a place that we can relax or be restful, then it's going to be hard to go to sleep. But I'm glad you mentioned those relaxation techniques. So maybe if I do those or we do those, then we can get the sleep that we need.
Right. And that can be part of your bedtime routine. And that's why I'm saying be militant about when it's approaching your bedtime. You have a routine that will help reset your brain, allow you to purge thoughts in your head so that you're not sitting there perseverating about it and just letting it roll around in your head. So having those relaxation techniques can definitely set not only your body up, but your brain up to be able to just let go of everything so that you can fall into deep sleep and then do your whole light sleep REM cycle. Because if we're not hitting all of our cycles during our sleep, our body isn't really doing what it needs to do. I mean, people will think like, "Oh yeah, I slept last night." And it's like, "But did they have deep sleep? Did they have dreams? Did you do all of your cycles?" Because if you're stressed when you go to sleep, you tend to stay up and you don't really hit deep sleep. You don't hit REM. And that's where it's imperative to have REM because that's when our brains actually washes itself. It does. Cerebral fluid will actually wash the brain, file away memories. And so if you're not sleeping well, you'll find that you can't really recall things, like your memory is not as good. So do those relaxation techniques before bedtime. It's so you'll be amazed at how much better you sleep.
And I tell you what really works well for me is, and it's such an inexpensive luxury, and that is to take a nice bubble bath. Just just to bathe and relax, put, dim the lights if you can, maybe a little lavender or something in there that's going to be calming. And oh my gosh, that is a nice technique that I like to use.
I haven't done that in so long. I'll do that probably here real soon because I have a lovely bathtub that doesn't get used very often. No, that's a great. I love baths are so nice. They're very, very nice, especially when you have lavender. Lavender is one of
Yeah,
my favorite scents. We have lavender sachets throughout the house. It's probably my favorite scent.
wonderful.
That's a great idea, though. So let's dive into, the holiday eating because that does tend to stress people out a little bit, especially if they're really working at having a good, healthy lifestyle. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is ditch the food rules of what's good, what's bad. Like, especially during the holidays. Calories are calories. They are. But there are better calories than some calories. But ditch like this is good for you, this is bad for you, and it helps remove the guilt. Okay, just make sure that you are having good, fibrous, colorful foods in your diet, and but ditching the whole good bad thing just removes guilt, and it's all about moderation and having balance. And so we tend to this time of year, I know people that will have stuff every weekend, events that they're going to, and they're excited about the event, but it also stresses them out because then they're out of control as far as like they have no control over what's going to be offered at the event, the party or the get together. So tip number one is be choosy. You don't have to eat everything. You can be choosy about what's there. And, and before you go back for seconds, take 10. I always say take 10 minutes, before you go back for seconds because you might see something there that's delicious and you just mow down on it. But then you're like, oh, I want some more of that. Just give yourself 10 minutes, drink a glass of water, have some conversation, and just hang out. Then if you want to go back for seconds, then you can maybe go back for seconds because, it is about balance. And if you are going to indulge yourself this one day, that's okay. As long as you're having a good balance the rest of the days of the week. Because there are people that do that. They're like, you know what? I'm going to the party. I'm going to just let it loose on this one night and I'm good to go. And, and I'm totally fine with that adage. If you want to have one night where you're just going to let yourself eat whatever you want and everything you can see, then fine. But, it's back on the wagon, the next day. Um, the next tip is we have a tendency to graze when we're at parties. So avoid recreational eating and grazing. Just park yourself somewhere away from the kitchen, away from, the buffet table or whatever. People will have a tendency to gravitate and stand there, and before they know it, they've had plate after plate after plate. So don't stand and graze by the, and people tend to commune in the kitchen. I don't know what it is about parties, but everyone ends up hanging out in the kitchen so much. So just park yourself somewhere away from the food. Go get your food and then move away from it. Because before you know it, have you ever been at a party where you're just sitting there and you're grazing, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, I think I've had enough of this.
You want me to admit to that on on
I did.
television?
I've done it.
Well, sure, and especially if it's good. I mean, yeah. But so yes, but I don't park in the kitchen so much. I'm used to people bringing the food around on trays or something, or having it in a nice, set up in a nice buffet or something like that. That makes sense for me. Now, Omega Blackburn has said here in the comments that sugar is bad for diabetes and must be managed.
Yes.
So I guess that's another consideration for when we're out at holiday gatherings and stuff for food.
Oh yeah, people that are diabetic, they're definitely in a different league. They have to really manage. Sometimes I will know diabetics that will eat, and even people that have high food allergies will typically eat before they go to an event, and then they will just socially, drink, whether it's alcohol or a soda water. So yeah, if you have medical issues, then yeah, you are definitely need to be very on point with who's hosting, what's being served, and sometimes to be in control of that, you just tend to eat before you go. And so, but yeah, but speaking of drinking, so it's important if you are going to be consuming alcohol at events that you are pacing yourself. And I encourage people to drink 2 glasses of water in between each alcoholic beverage just to help be ahead of it and not, be dehydrated, because alcohol does dehydrate us. And don't drink on an empty stomach. That is one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. So get some food in before you decide to have a party beverage. But make sure that you're drinking to your health, and that means drinking water. Make sure you're getting that water in between your alcohol. And so, and along those lines too, like I said, don't drink on an empty stomach. If you feel like you're going to go to an event and have a cocktail right out of the gate, consider eating something before you even go to the party, just a little
Mhm.
snack, so that one, you're not eating, drinking on an empty stomach, but two, then you're not famished and you're not going to want to try to eat everything in sight. And so just, it helps you control what you're going to be consuming. And so these are things to think about, and everyone's habits are different. And if you don't drink alcohol, then great. Then you don't need to worry about that, which is one less thing for you to be concerned about. But during the holiday season, it tends to be a high consumption. I mean, I was at Costco last week, and the amount of alcohol that was being bought at Costco, I was like, wow. I was a little taken back. So just manage yourself well. Make sure you're getting that water in and staying hydrated.
You talk about stressors, the money that people spend on alcohol, and I've seen some bottles that are so costly. So we have to think about that too.
My goodness, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So the next tip I have for you when you're at an event or a party is I say put on your dancing shoes. But have be willing to get up and walk around and be social, or be the catalyst and ask people, like, after you've eaten, like, hey, let's go for a walk around the block. Let's go look at the holiday lights. You can put on your walking shoes if you don't want to call them dancing shoes. But move around the party, go for a walk, eat between dinner and dessert. You'll just feel so much better. And dancing always lightens the mood for everyone. And you don't have to be a fancy dancer. Just getting up and moving and enjoying, feeling the beat of the music through your body and moving just livens people up so much. And it creates a lot of laughter as well. So don't be afraid to be that catalyst, that one person that does start everyone grooving a little bit, because it does make for so much fun.
Yep. Hopefully the parties or the events you go to will have some dancing. And if not, sometimes, you can do some of this to get your metabolism going, and the rest dance at home before you get there. Like you say, you prepare yourself to enjoy yourself.
Exactly. Yes. And if there isn't dancing, you know, invite people to go for a little walk before you come back and settle into dessert. It'll feel so much better just being physical and being the catalyst for other people to be a little more physical. And I can Dear, what are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing here, go take a walk. And the first thing that came to my mind, this is so sad. I'm thinking, but I don't want my seat to be taken to somebody. That was my seat. I was sitting there. Now it's
Then
gone.
you can play musical chairs, like
That's so sad to think. I'm
a
not going so
modified
far,
version of
but
musical
I
chairs.
like sitting right here, not because I can see everything, who's coming, who's going. That's so sad.
No, you just like positioning yourself in a place where you can see everything that's going on. It's good.
Mhm.
You just want to be super social and see what's happening with everyone.
Thank
I
you.
can guarantee you though, if you just make some smart choices, I'm not going to say healthy choices, but just some smarter choices, you'll feel so much better. You'll feel less stressed. You'll feel less guilty. You have a lower chance of creating some overweight issues through the holidays. Everyone talks about weight gain through the holidays. You're going to decrease that chance of that. You're going to decrease your chance of high blood pressure and all the things that could come along with that. Type 2 diabetes, if you're on the brink of that and you're consuming all of the sugar during the holiday, that can throw you into it. So just make some smart choices. You'll feel so much better and you'll just be able to maintain those healthy joints and bones that you've been working towards. And so, but at the same time, show yourself some grace through the holidays. So many people do not show themselves grace and they beat themselves up, whether it's they've made poor eating choices or they've overscheduled themselves, or they're so stressed out. Like just take a step back, take a deep breath, show yourself some grace. You are human, and then just restart, and make one choice that you're going to make things a little bit better and choose one thing that you're going to focus on and move in that direction. But if you find yourself beating yourself up, just take pause, take a step back, call your closest friend, your partner, and be like, "Hey, I just need a little bit of encouragement." And let them lift you up and move through the stressors of the holidays with grace because it's so important. And I'm going to come back to what I started with. Think about what you want to focus on. Be mindful of what you want your focus to be through the holidays. And if that's with friends and family and laughter, then let that rise. Let that come to the surface.
Makes sense for sure. And being mindful of those things. I think planning is a big part of this for me, just so that I have something in front of me that I can check my list off. That gives me a sense of accomplishment, I think sometimes. And then I don't beat myself up. Oh, pooh, I didn't do this or I didn't do the other. Ah, but you did this and you did this and you did this. And again, making reasonable goals, setting reasonable goals and having reasonable expectations, I think is so important during the holiday times. And making sure that when it's all said and done, you enjoy the holidays too, because it's not just for everybody else. You should be able to enjoy them too.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, the goal isn't to eliminate all stress, like I said before. It's just to eliminate the unnecessary stress and manage the rest. And so, but yeah, just focus on what's important.
I like that you said that. Yeah. And some stress might be people. So you
Yep.
may need to, just put some people on to the side for now until the new year, or whatever works for you, so that you are not stressed out. You know, and if we have to repair relationships before the holidays or something, so that you can feel comfortable. Sometimes, because you can't choose your family. They're coming. You can't choose them. You can choose your friends, but you don't choose your family. And so you're not getting away from them. And you want that to be a happy kind of situation. So some of those things just need to be taken care of too, so you can enjoy the holidays.
Yep, exactly. Having good, open, authentic, graceful conversations sometimes is all you need to do.
Put a little something special in their food too. No, I'm teasing. No. Is that awful?
But no, just yeah, focus on what you want to focus on, and let that rise to the surface and not let everything else just come piling down on you and you being stressed out. But remember to breathe. Remember to breathe.
Ask for help from others as well. You don't have to do things alone. Like I said, I love entertaining. And so, I'll get with my daughter sometimes and we'll plan what we're going to do. And it works. It's nice that way too. So you have both of them. You have both of them. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Catherine, one of our guests here, says that the excellent program with great suggestions and wonderful, refreshed ideas, and a few new ones. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being with us. Do you have any last words for us, Coach?
No, just enjoy this time of year. It really is. I mean, it does create a lot of stress for people, but there's a lot of beauty and love during this time of year, and really embrace that. I mean, we're celebrating Thanksgiving next week, and it's a time to be grateful for our health, for our family, for our friends, and so there's things to really focus on, and that's what I want to encourage people to do.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you for spending your time with us. Share this information with others, and we hope to see you in a couple of weeks. Take care and God bless.